So, recording is started. Let's begin our conversation. Okay, so you can see the page now, yeah? What we're going to discuss today is basically, I'm going to introduce to you what this course is about, what the FSP Vocab Trainer is, why did I go ahead and create it, and then how it's going to, what it contains within it, how is it going to be helpful to you, what is the purpose of this course, yeah? We're going to discuss all of these, the learning objectives that you can expect, the outcomes that you will have once you enroll to this course, and how to go about the FSP preparation using this course. Finally, we will come to how to enroll and then the question and answer round where informally you guys can just unmute and start asking your questions, okay? Good. The first part is introduction. Why did I do this? So the primary objective that I thought when I was doing this was to make it easy for you guys to learn and start learning the language and the pronunciation so that you can clear the FSP exam. You've already understood up till now, assuming that you all are interested in doing a PG in Germany, you need excellent medical German, not just to clear your FSP exams, but also to start working full time. And right now, I'm hoping that you guys have already started learning German, which means that you already are going through the process of, introducing yourself, asking other people what their names are, where they live, and talking about who's your favorite movie actor. Now, can you imagine sitting in front of a patient and asking for a consent for an MRI or describing a surgical procedure to them? That's the level of German you have to achieve. And that begins by learning the words first. You need to understand that the medical profession that you've chosen and you've learned in your education is the same level you have to start practicing in a foreign language. So it is super essential for you to be really good with medical German. You're going to use it with your doctor colleagues, nurses, right? You're going to imagine thinking that you're at the ward and telling the nurse in charge, oh, you should change these orders for this patient today, right? That needs to be done in German. Or discussing a management of a new difficult case with your senior doctor. That needs to be done in German. Or writing a discharge summary of a patient who's leaving your ward after, I don't know, a knee replacement surgery. Needs to be done in German. So you need medical German, your medical German skills to be really good, right? So now that you know this, you do understand, okay, this is relevant for me in some way during my practice. Why is it relevant for me for the FSP exam? I mean, surely I can learn how to talk to people when I do a hospitation or, I don't know, start a job after getting a license, right? Well, the FSP exam is going to test you on each of these skills of communication. That means interacting with your patients. They'll talk to you. You have to listen to them. Then you have to document that. And then you have to present it to the examiner. And finally, you'll have a fourth part wherein you have the vocabulary and you have to translate those terms one for one, either 10 or 20, depending on which state you are in. So you are being tested on these exact communication language skills. You're being tested for your medical German in that exam. So it is important. Like I said, if any questions coming up, just write it in the chat and I'll get to it. So that brings us to the next part. So talking to nurses and listening to patients is all good. Why do I need a course to teach me that vocabulary? Well, think about this. And I'm sure some of you have kids, some of you interact with children, maybe your cousins, nephews, nieces. How do they start learning a language? You all are doctors, but you're still children when it comes to speaking German. I was there too. Everybody is. So the grammatical structures you have to learn right now in A1 to C1 are the same that German children going to school learn. And so the first thing you have to learn is the words. And only then would you be able to make sentences out of it. If you don't know the words, what are you going to say? I mean, you're learning right now, ich heiße Rohit, right? Or ich habe gestern etwas gegessen. Like something about I ate something like that. But to be able to say, I ate a vegetable and now I have stomach pain, you need to know what stomach pain is called. And that is where the vocabulary trainer is useful to familiarize you with what those medical German terms are, taking the first steps, right? Now you'd ask, okay, words are important. That's pretty straightforward. How about just translating everything with everything that I see in a book and start translating using Google Translate? Think about this. Would you do that for every subject you learn? Which terms are important? How do you even know that? You'd be just mugging up everything. But how long would you do it? You'll eventually get frustrated, right? So the interesting part here and the challenging part for you would be that every medical German term that you have to learn has to be in two versions. Yeah. That means the first version is going to be the simple medical German term, the one that you will use talking to patients with, because they don't understand your Latin, Greek originated terms. However, your documentation and everything that you document in your papers for the patient discharge summary or interacting with your colleagues, it's all going to be in formal medical German. Right? I'll give you an example. So appendix, for example, right? The appendix is called Blinddarm. But Blinddarm is something that you will not use for documentation. That's not the medical term for it. It still is appendix, right? So those are the finer nuances that you have to know. Or pancreas, for example. You know what pancreas is. It's written different in formal medical German, but it's called completely different, a word for it in simple German. And patients won't understand if you ask them pancreas. It's really funny, but they won't. So what you have to say to them is Bauchspeicheldrüsen, and that's like a fancy word to say pancreas. So the things that you've taken for granted during medicine have to be relearned. Vocabulary onward have to be relearned again. And that's where this course is going to help you do that, right? So now I'm going to show you what this course does by doing a preview. I also shared the link yesterday with you on email. I don't know how many of you had an opportunity to join that free preview. The idea was to give you a hands-on so that when we do this discussion today, it will make more sense to you because you've already used it. Just put a thumbs up if you tried it in the chat. And if you didn't, no worries. I'm going to connect it right now so that you and I can go through those parts of the course together. Okay, so now we come to the next share, which is going to be this one. Oh, well, good. Yeah, that's a good question. How many words? I'm just going to refer to this question once you just have a look. I'm sure you can see the screen now that I've shared, right? It's of what you will see when you're enrolled as a student. Let me get to this question. How many words are included? So over 100 words, I don't know. I mean, 112 or 118 words are there. And of course, I've seen FSP books, which are vast, and they are vast, and they might contain thousands of pages. But think about it, really think about it. I'm talking to you in English right now. How many different words am I using? Not more than 100. Those 100 words are used in 4,000 sentences. So you need to start somewhere. And I'm not saying this is an exhaustive list of the only terms you have to learn, but this is the basis of those terms that you should begin with, which will allow you to at least understand the texts as you go ahead and start reading them. If you don't have the basis of vocabulary, you won't understand the text. You won't be able to understand your texts as you go through them. And that's the idea behind it, to familiarize you. And let's get to the course, and I'm going to show you why I'm saying and how it's going to help you. So coming back to our screen here, as you can see, the thing on the left that you see is the navigation panel, right? And what it allows you to do is simply to navigate through your chapters, right? Second. So how are you going to go through this? Right now you see there is a preview lesson for gastro. So on the left-hand side, the navigation panel shows you the systems that it's addressing, right? So there's gastroenterology, since it's huge. So it's got 2 chapters. There's respiratory, neurocirculatory, and then there's miscellaneous, which includes the less important ones, including urology and orthopedics. They are generally important subjects, but they're not as relevant as the internal medicine subjects are going to be for you, for your exam. So it's based on those exam relevance that these terms have been put here, right? On the table, you can see that there is an English term right here, which shows ulcer, jaundice, hernia. These terms you recognize. They're still medical terms, but they're in English. You recognize them. The next one is the medicine term. Now, this is the formal German term you're expected to use when you document things, when you talk to your colleagues. Let's say you and I meet in a hospital, and you're talking about a patient who came to you with upper gastric pain. The word gastric itself is medicinal, right? So that needs to be translated into German. You're not just going to be saying, oh, the abdomen. No, no, no. You have to say upper quadrant abdomen. So that localization, that is the medicinal thing that you're going to be using for documenting, right? And that's what you see here on the left-hand side. So something like an ulcer is called das Ulcus. Of course, das, der, die are also important. You're learning German, you know how important they are, and they will also be checked in your language exams. They are relevant, and that's why they're also been given here. But then if you talk to a patient and are telling them the diagnosis, let's say you're telling them you have a peptic ulcer, they're not going to understand what an ulcer is. So now you have to call it das Geschwür. That is a simple German term. Patients do not understand your formal medicine terms. And that's why you need to also know the simple German term of that. And that's provided right here in the table to you. So finally, we are going to come to a very interesting part that I really enjoy. And that is, as this vocabulary is presented, right next to that is the audio button. The audio button would tell you exactly what that medicine term, das Ulcus, sounds like in native German. So if in the exam, your examiner says a word and you do not understand because you never heard it being spoken, how will you answer? And the same goes in the exam if you're talking to a patient and they mention das Geschwür, but you've never heard the pronunciation of this word, you're never going to be able to recognize it, even though you know how it's written. So it's important to learn and train your ear how it sounds. And it's also important to practice the pronunciation so that you pronounce it correctly. So now we're going to listen to how the audio sounds. Did you guys hear it?
Yes, we can hear it.
Okay, perfect. So the idea behind it is to train your ear, right? And to train how you pronounce it. Now, how are you going to use it? I mean, this is all very fancy, okay, but now you have like 8 different chapters. How do I suggest you use it? And this is based on how I myself would learn if I were a student again, and this is how I recommend my students to learn. First, you open the chapter right now in front of you in the screen, right? You see the first time you're accessing the course, you open the chapter, just go through the terms casually. Just read. Just because it's all new for you. Just read the first time with zero expectations. Just read, right? Ulcer, aha, new word, das ulcus. Fancy word, das Geschwür. I don't know what that is. Oh, let's hit the play button. Okay. So once you go through all this the first time, this is just to make you comfortable. Now, on step 2, we are going to go ahead and click on the audio button file and listen to it. And listen to the feedback, and then try and read that table again, right? The idea is to connect what you see with what you hear. We're not practicing right now. We're just reading and listening, okay? However, the third step is the fun step. Now, you can use this and stand in front of a mirror, play. So the woman says, she says das ulcus, right? You stand in front of the mirror and use that word. And das ulcus still sounds easy. But if I come to, or these are bigger words, right? Dinarumskarens. There are so many different pronunciations that are happening here. Z is being pronounced differently. Narum, I've never heard that word. What is it? So the idea is to give your brain that time to get used to speaking those words. And the best way you can do it is to look into a mirror, hear what she says, and repeat it. And of course, you will not get it right the first time. Nobody does. But you will eventually get comfortable using it. You will eventually get comfortable watching yourself speak German. And that's the idea. It's to build your confidence at the same time, train you to understand medical German and start speaking it, right? So that's how I would suggest that you start repeating those terms, because of course, repetition is something that will increase the speed with which you learn things, right? So those are other scientific principles we will also come to, which are incorporated, but the idea behind going through this course is this is how you should approach the learning part, right? By going through the tables, standing in front of the mirror, and practicing your pronunciations, right? Okay. Yeah, true. Even one. Yeah, you're right. Works around 100 drugs. And Dr. Shahid, that is, I did not know this. This is so cool. Labla is pancreas in medicine. Thanks for sharing that. You can go ahead and write what, if you know what is pancreas called in your native language. So I didn't know Urdu, but if you speak any other language that you might know, go ahead and share it in the comments. It's really exciting for me to learn new stuff like this from you guys. Okay, so once we are done reading the table, once we are done standing in front of the mirror and reciting what appendectomy is called, die Blinddarmentfernung, okay? Yeah, we have practiced this, okay? Now we go to complete and continue. There's a tick, and now we are taken to the quiz. The idea behind the quiz is simple. If you've given post-graduation exams, or even if you've given entrance exams to get into your colleges, you know that you used to repeat your knowledge by ticking MCQs, right? And what it does is it forces you to actively recall what you just learned. And that is important because that will help you solidify whatever it is that you just learned. So that's why I always recommend do the quiz immediately after you've completed the chapter, and don't postpone it for a day. It's not a big quiz, but it's still going to force you to engage, to pronounce with what you just learned. And that will solidify your neural channels, and that is memorized a lot better. Okay? And so in stressful situations, when you're talking to a patient, this is what you will remember. I recalled it. So I remember this word a lot better. So I'll use this word. That's the idea behind every chapter being followed by a relevant quiz. So, for example, Jaundice icterus in simple German is called die Gelbsucht. No? And then there's this fun thing that comes up. Which part of the body can you check for icterus? If you know the answer, go ahead and write it. Gelb is yellow. You're right, Dr. Shahid. But tell me, where do you check icterus in a patient? Just write it in the comments. It's something you must have learned during medicine. Look at the hint. It's supposed to tell you exactly where. But this is the kind of fun stuff that you then get after you get your answer in the quiz. So, right? Yeah, correct. Aha, perfect. You guys know your stuff. It is the sclera. And so, right? That's what you're faced with. So you can immediately connect the relevance of icterus in English through your medical education with the new word called the Gelbsucht, because now you've attached it with a memory you remember from far, far ago. And so these are the little nuances which help you remember stuff a lot better using the FSP Vocab Trainer. So if you've got questions, go ahead and write them. I'm sure something must have come up. That's correct, Dr. Abhijit. Upper sclera. You're absolutely right. Tahir, you too. Yeah. So, no question? Okay, then we move. Okay. Another part is the immersion that this course can offer you. Let's say you have a question to ask, right? Let's say you don't understand something, or let's say you want to ask somebody how your pronunciation is, if you're not getting it correctly, or you just want a friend to talk because you're frustrated. What you can do is go to the community, right? And the community is a pretty amazing thing, because now you're in contact with the members. As you can see right now, there are 26 members. But as more of you would join, this community would start growing. And all of these members are doctors or medical professionals, just like you, learning German and wanting to learn medical German. Some of them are a few weeks before their exam is going to happen, so they're well advanced. But some of them are just somebody who's started A1. So there's a mix of different learners. And what it does is it allows you to get in touch with people and find accountability partners or study partners. What is a study partner? The name says it. You want to learn German with them. You go to the announcement section or accountability space right here, and then just go and write your message. Hey, I'm looking for somebody to learn German with today. Anybody interested? I'm at B1 level, yeah? And somebody would reply to you, and you guys connect on a video call and just chat. Sometimes it would be useful just to vent out, because, I don't know, you've been learning German, or you've given exams twice but haven't cleared, but you just need to vent out your frustration or share your experiences of success. All of this happens here. Somebody switched on their mic. Could you mute your mic, please? I don't know who did it. Perfect. Thank you. And so the idea is to get in touch with other learners, share your experiences, learn from them, study with them. What it also does is forces you to come back when there will be days, and we've all had those days, and you will have it too, where you just want to give up, right? I don't want to learn anymore. My God, it's so frustrating. I don't feel like doing German again. That's when the community will help you. Be like, come on, you invested 6 months, 8 months, 10 months in learning. What are you doing? Come on, let's learn together today. Everybody has bad days. So it's good to have that community support. And that's the idea behind this community. And you get the access once you, like, this is included in your course price. So once you enroll yourself in the FSP Vocab Trainer, the community comes with it, because I feel it's a very integral part of it. Even though it requires a lot more maintenance, a lot more work on my part, I still think it's worth it, because it enriches the whole experience, brings everything, brings the social aspect into learning, which I feel is extremely important. So how many of you, which interests me, because we've spoken about community. Oh, thank you so much, Tahir. Oh, that is wonderful. Thank you so much for joining today, Tahir. And yet you showed up. It's so amazing, man. I love it. I hope you're liking it. You say it's very fun, and I agree, it is very fun, but do tell me how you like it and which part you like. I would love your review. So, right? So you can always reach out to me, of course. Oh yeah, that's another part of the community. Sorry, Tahir, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to share that the conversation, your community thing is very good in your this program, because nobody is going to interact with anybody. Then if we are learning on our own, then there are a lot of problems that we cannot share with other peoples. And if we interact with other people and they tell us different things about our problem, and we can solve it in a very different way. And that's the main thing which is very appreciating, and I really appreciate that. And very good.
Thank you so much, Tahir. That is a wonderful observation. You're absolutely right. That is what I was thinking too. And this idea came to me when I was learning German. So I'll just tell you about a little anecdote. But first, you guys tell me, any of you learning German right now in an institute, or like, are you learning alone through apps?
Sir, I am learning German from Karachi, Pakistan. IGL is the training institute, and I am at B1 level,
Okay, perfect.
and that's going on right
Okay.
now.
To everyone else also, just write it in the comments. I'd like to know where you guys are in your training, because that's really interesting to know that and find that out. I loved the communal part of learning, even when I was learning German, right? And the reason why I loved it was because of this. And there were days, and I was learning with children too. Like, it was a mixed classroom, and there were people who were 60 and there were people who were 15, 13, I remember. Oh, there was a girl who was 11. My God. Like, what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is, there are so many things that you yourself sometimes cannot do or understand. And then children of 15, 13, something come and tell you something with a different take, with a different perspective. And suddenly you're like, aha, I never thought of that. I could also do this. Or share some exciting link or resource, or I don't know, you're trying to figure out something about some state, and you come in contact with somebody else on this community who says, I am also going to that state. So no, that's the thing. Who's this? Risha JFSM Akhtar. I just started yesterday at A1 level from an app. Oh, perfect. Congratulations for starting. That must have, this is the most difficult, taking the first step. So you're on the right path. Wonderful. Don't worry about which level you are on, because that is one part of the story. The other part of the story is how you approach your learning, and with how many people you try and make and come in contact. Like I said, learning with those children and older people, I was the only, there were two other doctors where I was learning, and then they dropped for family reasons. But the thing that I'm trying to say is, I didn't learn with a community of doctors. And I think it would have been more beneficial if I was. That's why I created it. But I still understand the importance that a community plays in enhancing your learning. That's the reason behind creating this community for you guys, which is also a part of the FSP Vocab Trainer. Coming back. Where were we? Okay. So I have to stop sharing this and go back to the other thing. You can ask your questions. Yumna. Okay. Dr. Abhijit, thank you so much for enrolling. Yes, I saw you. You have joined. I remember you. Yumna, within how much time it's expected to complete this course? Thank you for the question. It's a very interesting one. The part that I like about this course is simply that you can go ahead and use it at your own pace. It doesn't matter which level you are in. It doesn't matter which speed you're going at. And that's what makes it quite interesting. So let me come to the slides again. Right? We've spoken about what the FSP Vocab Trainer is, what the purpose of this course is to assist you in improving your medical German vocabulary at your own pace, right? You know the importance of medical German because everybody who has not studied in Germany has to give the FSP exam and use medical German daily to interact with your patients and your doctor friends, right? And so it also aligns with the FSP principles, which is to learn formal medical German terms and simple medical German terms because they are going to be used in the three different separate parts of that exam. The first one being a patient-doctor interaction. So you're talking to an active patient there who's talking to you in simple German. The second stage is documentation, where now what you heard from that simple German from the patient, you have to document in proper German standards sentences, which will then also be submitted and corrected. And the third part is that the examiner now becomes your senior doctor, and now you're presenting the case to them and then talking to them what the other diagnosis should be, what the differential diagnosis is. Would you do a blood work? Would you do an MRI? What therapy would you give to that person? Would you recommend a surgical procedure or just give PPIs, right? So the idea is simply that this vocab trainer gives you the first step to enter into the preparation. And you can do it while you're in A1, A2, B1, B2, or you are just before entering your FSP exam. I have another learner in the course who's 4 weeks away from the FSP exam. The idea, and I asked him why he joined, the idea behind it is for a rapid revision. Because the fourth part of the exam is vocabulary, where he's in Rheinland-Pfalz, and they have 20 terms there, where you have to translate one medical term into simple German or vice versa. And so the idea behind it is simply to do this, all right? Abhijit, that's a very good suggestion, actually. I was thinking about it too, but I cannot introduce it in this course. I would introduce it, however, in a following course, and I want to do that. This is the first step, and then the next step that I am currently working on and thinking about, so that's a wonderful recommendation, is how you can then start using this vocabulary in a sentence form, and then finally in an interaction form. So like I said, learning happens stage-wise. I cannot provide to you the entire script in German right now and expect you to understand. You'll just be confused, throw it on the side, and just go ahead watching Netflix. I would do that, wouldn't you? So I want you to understand. I want you to feel success. I want you to feel confidence in your learning. And that happens by taking little steps, getting little wins, and then moving ahead, taking on bigger challenges. And so this course is designed to give you that win, that feeling of accomplishment that you've started learning medical German. And once you've learned the vocabulary, given the quizzes, then we take the next step. Okay, start filling it up in sentences. So I am working on that, and that will be then provided and made accessible in future courses. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Next question. Is there a time period for which the course will be available? Something of that sort. Would you want it to be a subscription? Akshata? Like generally asking, just throwing it out there. Would you want it? Of course, providing courses and hosting them. So currently this course is being hosted, as you can see, on the Thinkific website, and that costs money and time and energy, and that's okay. Right now, it is being provided to you for as long as you want. Don't worry about that. If something changes in the future, I will let you know. But you won't lose access to the material, is what I'm trying to say. There is nothing called life. I might die tomorrow. What would you do then with the Thinkific course? What I'm trying to say is like I checked, can you give lifetime guarantees? And sadly, law says here in Germany, you can't. So I would refrain from using that term, but you can go ahead and use this for as long as you want. That's the reason why I also kept it low price. We're going to come to the price, and like that was the idea behind it, that you guys go ahead and use it, enter and start exploring, right? And so for now, you can use it for as long as you want. It's currently not a subscription model, okay? So can you add history taking like we have in a file? Yes, that's excellent. I will eventually do it in another course. It cannot be done in this course. But that's exactly what Dr. Abhijit also said. Something of that sort about history taking is what patient-patient and patient-doctor interaction involves. So great suggestion. I am working on it. It's lovely. You guys are actually getting involved. I love that. It is such a relief. I was so worried you guys are not going to like it, that. Like, again, I'm digressing a little bit, I think, but just stop me if you don't want to. What I'm trying to say is this idea came to me when I was on holiday, and I thought, which is the littlest of things that people can begin with, right? And so vocabulary was, come on, we're doctors. I know that. We've been learning our own lives. Who wants to learn how to learn again, right? So I apologize if I'm making you feel like you don't know stuff. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just giving you the real picture of what the expectation is and giving you the solution for how you can go ahead and succeed. That's the only purpose, okay? And so the idea of the course is to give you things that I felt I missed and I could have used in my own course. And the more people I tell this and the more people who put it into practice and they start benefiting, that's when I collect my data, seeing, oh, it's working, it's useful to people, right? So coming back to our discussion, Dr. Shah, thank you so much. I am the reason, oh, come on, man. Like, oh, okay. Thanks. I'm happy to help. If that helps you, that's wonderful. I want you to feel motivated. Dr. Abhijit, such a low price, helpful for those like, I'm from a middle class too. So like, come on. You're most welcome. Course, we have seen, you can see, we can come back to the slides now, right? The key features you've seen, vocabulary, pronunciation in the community. How will we use? We've discussed that, discussing the first time you read the table, the second time you read the table with the pronunciation, then you stand in front of a mirror and recite what you know. That's a technique, what it's called, standing in front of a mirror reciting. And I used to do that, learning themas. I don't know who's in B1, but themas are still a thing, right? So that's how I used to learn themas, standing in front of the mirror and reciting what I just learned, just to become comfortable, because I was really shy talking in front of people. Like the way I'm talking to you right now, it took a lot of practice to get there. Okay. So 8 years ago, I couldn't. So standing in front of the mirror helps people who are shy, people who want confidence to learn and start speaking, right? Active recall is what you do with your study partner and also with your quiz after every chapter, right? And so immersive learning also touches on that. You stay on the app, you stay on the same course, and you have the community access there too. So you don't have to go to Facebook and look for another partner and be like, okay, now I'm going to find a study partner on Facebook in some group. No, it's not necessary. These are motivated people in this course who have an intention, and that's the reason why there's a price, so that people who are motivated come through in the course. So it filters out people who just going to take the course and keep it on the side, right? The motivated people, so they motivate you. And what's the advantage to you if you were to go ahead for this course? Now we come back again to the same points about benefiting you in improving your vocabulary for medical German, in improving your pronunciation in medical German. So when we go here, you're going to get access to grammatically correct over 100 common medical terms divided in gastro, respi, neuro. So that's relative. That's important because then it's stored together. What benefit would it be if I gave you a term like hernia and suddenly I give you the translation of testis and then give you a translation of femur, and you're like, okay, but how? There has to be some order to learning. And that's why those groups are divided into chunks. It's another scientific principle. So we're coming across these principles which are important in learning. And it was nice to read about all the things we were doing even during our med school, even during our entrances, but never knew the name of. That's why we just introduced those names. Don't worry if you don't remember it, it's okay. So chunking it into groups which are relative, so you learn them together. So gastro terms together, respi terms together, they're divided, right? You get access to that. And then you get to hear the vocal trainer. For fun, I gave her the name Emma. You could call her whatever you want, it's fine. The idea behind it is that she's going to help you she'll give you feedback, which you then practice with, listen to. I mean, you're learning German, so you know Hörverstehen is a part, right? Listening part. And that's exactly what you're doing. How else would you learn? So through a partner who speaks to you in German and through this vocal trainer, which is like an AI response giving you the pronunciation of both simple German and formal medical German. Now, here's the fun part, flexibility and accessibility. So I really like this. It was important to me that I'm able to access this course anywhere I want. I mean, so it's perfect for people like you who are busy professionals, you're doctors, right? Some of you are working, some of you are supporting your family, some of you are supporting a full-time job, children, and learning. So come on, you need something which is flexible enough, which adapts to your schedule, right? Like there could be a fixed course, but then you have to make time, leave your responsibilities, and follow the course along. That's for a different category of people. For general people, I would say this gives you the opportunity to learn where you want, when you want, right? Maybe you're visiting your relatives and coming back, put on your headphones and start listening in the car drive, or have taken a bus to your work and are listening to it in the morning, or you have a lunch break and are listening to it or going through the tables, because you can access the course on your phone. So this was really important. That's why I chose this platform of Thinkific, even though it costs like a ton of money, because none of them are Indian portals. But the idea behind it is that it's available on mobile, which means it gives you the access to either use Safari, Chrome, Mozilla, Firefox, whatever, like browsers on your desktop, laptop, or your phone. Like you can even use a browser and start the course, or you could download the Thinkific app, sign in there, and start using the course. Like that is wonderful. And it saves your progress. It tells you 20%, 30%. So you're even getting statistics. You can access the community right? It gives you notifications, somebody replies to your note. So it's really useful and it's really intuitive. And I think it comes as a part with no additional price. So anytime, anywhere is wonderful. And of course, through that, you can reach the community, ask for support from people. The app is called Thinkific app, like the website link that I sent you. I'll send you the link even. Wait. Wait. Let me send you the link for the free trial. Go ahead and use that if you want. And that's the website. And the Thinkific thing that you see in the address is the same that you will use to find the app online. Yeah. It's also called Thinkific. That's what I wanted to say. And if you want, like, I will share this again, but you can go ahead and use these two links. Okay, good. So support is something that you can reach out to in the community, but you can also tag me with @Rohit, and I will directly get an intimation if you want me to answer something on the community, and I will get back to you too. So it's perfect, right? That support is very important. Like, what's the point of you getting a course and then you want to ask some question and you can't reach anyone? So I'm reachable through email. You guys also know my email. On my website, there's also a contact form. There are plenty of ways to contact me. You won't have a problem with that. Yeah? The idea behind it is that it helps you save money simply because you're starting a course with minimum investment. Now, I know most of you are already doing German, but I'm wondering, is anybody here in this webinar who has also not started learning German, but is still on the fences, thinking they want to start learning German? You can write it in the chat if you are. No? Okay, no problem. The idea behind it is that, oh yes, okay. See, the idea is that, let's say you're on the fence of starting to learn German, of starting to invest thousands of rupees and hundreds of euros just to learn A1 to see if German is something you want to do. Like, you're frustrated giving the PG exam, sure, and you're looking for an option, okay, but German is not for everyone. How will you know if that's something that interests you, that's something you can do, that's something you want to do, without investing this 1 year of learning B2, then going to Germany and then start learning German? Isn't it better if you could just get a quick look at the start and see if there's something you want to do? So it's perfect for people who are just right at the beginning, right? A1, A2, B1, like the people who are just beginning their German, who are not super motivated. It's a great way to find out with least investment if German is something they want to do in the future, right? Of course, it's also giving you an idea of what is expected from you in the Fachsprachprüfung, so it also aligns really well without having to join a Fachsprachprüfung course. So again, minimal money, so you get to save money. But you also get to save your time so that you don't get frustrated, right? Simply because if you want to join any other FSP course, and I'm not saying this is a complete FSP course, I'm just saying if you want to get a taste of FSP, you need to first start the approbation procedure, get a deficit Bescheid, apply for a visa, book a flight, go to Germany, then join a course, have a waiting period there, same time finish B. There's a lot of things you need to do before you even get a chance to experience what medical German is. And that can lead to a lot of frustration. And people want to save time. Come on. You're investing 15 months in learning German till C1 and then applying for a hospitation, applying for a visa, going to Germany, waiting 6 months again to get into an FSP course, learning for 6 months again. That's like over 2 years. You will get frustrated. And so for advanced learners who are B1, B2, who are motivated to go to Germany, it's also perfect to begin their medical German preparations side by side with their German preparations that they're anyway going to, that they're anyway taking out time for. So it's a good thing when you start synchronously, so that you're learning of German grammar, themas, everything's happening, but at the same time, you're not losing focus of what your true goal is, and that is to start working as a doctor. Because I felt this when I was in B1, B2. I'm like, why am I learning all of this political themas and familiar über alles? Like, what? I want to learn something medicine. Like, and then I bought a book. I remember I bought a book from Amazon for 35 euros, got it delivered after 50 days. And this is like 8 years ago, so Amazon wasn't that good. Got delivered from Germany. And that book is brand new, sitting, and it stayed with me for the next year and a half. Because I tried reading the first page and I got frustrated. I'm like, I don't understand anything. And that's exactly what I was trying to tell you before, is you can open a book, but you won't understand anything because you don't know the words. And that's why you need to start by learning the words. And that's why the FSP Vocab Trainer is something which I think is wonderful as the first step. Like I said, it's not a complete training. It is not the only training you need for FSP exam. No. But it is a very good first step to take to begin your FSP training. also during learning German, so that you don't get frustrated. Yeah. So just rounding up again, the FSP Vocab Trainer, right, is hosted on the Thinkific platform. This is how it's spelled, Thinkific platform. So you can look for the app called Thinkific, right? The Thinkific app. It is also accessible through web browsers, laptop, desktop, tablet, whatever you have, right? So it's perfect to take it where you want. You get access to over 100 more common medical German terms. You can train with the audio trainer, Emma, but you can call her whatever you want, your pronunciations, and you get access to the community. Finally, you can get the FSP Vocab Trainer at the early bird price. I don't know how many of you have seen it online, the early bird price. Just you guys who are the early adopters, so the first 26 people that you also saw in the course are the ones who bought the course in the last week, and I do intend to increase the price by a margin, €2. It's not going to be like 2,000 euros, but it's still going to increase in the next 48 hours. And I was going to do it on Sunday, but then we had the webinar. So you should get a chance to also come in. And so for the next 48 hours, it's going to be the same price, which is the discounted price or the early bird price. And you can sign up with the links that I've given here. So the Thinkific free trial, or you could just go to my website and just buy it, and you'll directly be enrolled in the course and you get a confirmation. Both of the links are provided here, right here, as you can see. Can you see? Just hearted it. Okay. So, questions. Let's get questions. My presentation is for the time being done. I'm gonna have some coffee. No, Dr. Shahid. I could make it a subscription for you if you want. Since I am the motivation you're going to Germany, would you like it to be a subscription? Sure, no problem. Just after this, I'm going to send you a subscribe link so that for you it's a subscription, okay? And you better well subscribe because you've said that in front of 12 people now, okay? Okay, perfect. Any more questions, people? Come on, bring it up. Sir, I have a question not related to FSP, but a general problem. No. This, I know this. Who is this? Tell me again, please. This is Lovepreet, no? This is probably Lovepreet. No. Only related to FSP, my friend. Yeah, I know you. This is you. No. See, the miscellaneous questions I know are very important to your heart, but it's not related to the subject. So let's stay on the subject, try to get that, because if I start digressing right now, we would start talking for the next 2 hours. And that's not going to benefit everybody. So I want everybody to be benefited through that. If you want something, just ask me on an email or book a discussion call and we can do that. Okay? We're gonna make it. Okay, sir. Akhil Vivek. Thank you, my friend. Anyway, about the present, can we work as a MO after? What is an MO? Medical officer? That doesn't exist there. That concept is India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, they have medical officers, chief medical officers. They don't have that in Germany. So, like, once you've completed the FSP, if you want to take up a job of an MO, that's an administrative job, but that doesn't exist in Germany for doctors. But let me tell you something about the FSP in general, since I know it's going to benefit you. You don't need to clear the FSP to get a temporary license. Remember that. Okay. Ashish, which other resources will you suggest for preparation for FSP? That is also a very good question, actually, Ashish. In my opinion, you need more interactive portals like this, wherein you can use your knowledge and not just take in bookish knowledge. You need practical approaches, hands-on approaches. So any course which allows you to learn medical German and allow you to practice the use of medical German is going to be good. I mean, you can search it for it online, and I know There are a lot of courses available online which allow you to do that. However, they have a requirement that you have to, first of all, have at least B2, C1 German, and that you have a Defizit Bescheid or whatever document. So you can have a look on online, but there are some good courses and some bad courses that you will have to use your common sense for that, because there are going to be some who just promise you nothing, but then when you ask them, they don't tell you anything what is the curriculum, and some would be very good with telling you exactly what you're going to do when you pay them. So make sure you choose well, but try a hands-on approach course where you get to practice that as much as possible, the vocabulary that you're going to learn from the FSP Vocab Trainer, for example, right? And I also discussed before that I will, like, this is an initial course. I eventually do plan to move into the area wherein I can provide you advanced knowledge using it in a history, the FSP training, preparation thing, patient-doctor interaction, doctor-doctor interaction, all those things. Currently, I will start working on it. I haven't done it, but I'm collecting ideas as to what you guys want. So that is a great idea, and I think I will work on that. So just share your ideas. Even after the chat, I'm going to send you an email. Just give me a feedback about how this conversation was, and also write the kind of course you would like to have so that I can save it, I can have it, and I can work on it so that it helps you, it assists you. You guys are at very young stages of your German learning right now. So by the time I'm done, by the time you guys are prepared, I will also be done, and I can provide you that. However, right now, online resources are your best bet. I don't think there are personal teachers in India or Pakistan who teach you medical German. So next question. How can we get temporary license without clearing FSP? Oh, perfect question. So as I was saying, the other way you can prepare is by joining a hospitation. And I keep saying that on all my videos. I don't know why you guys don't like hospitation. I get a feeling that you guys don't like hospitation. Hospitation is your best friend. If there's one thing I can tell you today, like if you ask me, sir, one thing that I do to prepare for the entire FSP, nothing else, then that will be a hospitation. Why? Because you are directly doing everything you are going to do in the exam. You're talking to a patient. You're going to be presenting cases to the doctors on rounds every morning. You can practice taking history. You can look at documentations, how it's done on the hospital ward. You can talk to nurses. Hospitation, my friend, is the number one way which you can prepare for the FSP, and the number one way you can get a job offer. And it's the job offer you use to apply for a temporary license. And that has nothing to do with the FSP exam. They're both parallel processes, right? You apply for approbation here to the government, to the Behörde, Landesprüfungsamt, who's going to take your degrees and then tell you Defizit Bescheid here. Oh, now we've sent you for the FSP exam. Oh, now your date is going to come for the Kenntnisprüfung. However, you're in the hospital, and there are two different organizations, right? They give you a job offer, you go to them and say, I have a job offer, give me a temporary license, and they give you a temporary license. It doesn't matter if you're given FSP or no. And that's how I did it. And that's how I suggest you guys do it too. Saves you time, saves you money. Oh yeah, other resources have answered questions. After we clear FSP, no, why? You get a job only, then you get paid. Exam giving is not something that will start earning you money. Doctor, can you please elaborate on your timeline from starting learning German, giving FSP? It's not to, no, of course not. It's a wonderful question. Thank you so much for asking. There are so many people, I just don't know your name. So I'm going to call you JFSM, okay? See, I started learning German on the May 25th, 2016, I think, or 2017. Year, I'm not sure, but what I'm trying to say is May, I started learning German. Next year, February, I was done with C1. Sure. February or March, I was done with C1, like next year. Like May, I began. Next year, February, I think I was done with C1. And then I applied. And it went pretty quickly for me, I think, because I also had prior knowledge of German. I learned that in school. That's why it went so fast. So it's different for everybody. So don't try and compare that. Just giving you an, what to expect, even when it goes this fast. So February, then I started applying for hospitations. Then I got a confirmation. Then I applied for visa. Then I got checked visa. And then finally, February C1, September, I began my hospitation. So I had a visa, got my documents checked. September, I had joined the hospitation. So like I started both these processes parallelly. That time I didn't have to apply from India for approbation. So I took my documents the moment I landed the first week, September, and went to Landungsprüfungsamt and started my approbation process there. So now we're in September, like 1 year and 3 months later, 1 year and 4 months later, since I began learning German. Still don't have an FSP date, but I got in the hospitation a job offer in the first month in October. And then I began working on that job on 1st of February next year. And May. In that year itself, May is when I got my FSP date. So I said 2 years after starting learning German, I got my FSP date and gave my FSP exam. And that's a realistic timeline. It's going to be even longer for you guys, I'm telling you, because your processes are, if you don't begin at the same time, like you have to be intelligent about your applications, but if you don't begin at the same time, then time even increases. So at least take 2 years to get from there to FSP exam. But I was still earning that time. That's what I said, because both don't have something to do with each other. And I got a job offer before, so I could begin my work and start earning full money with a temporary license. Sir, can we see any coaching classes from you in the future? Great suggestion, Tahir. One-on-one coaching, you mean for FSP? I was also thinking about that. Yes, that is a great idea, actually. I'm working on the outlines. There is another 3 people who've approached me for that. So I think that can be very easily done. Like I'm just working on exactly how to go about it to provide you the maximum value and still be able to do it in least amount of time. So 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 12-week program simultaneously, and may have a small classroom of, let's say, 4 or 5 people. So if you have more people with you who are also willing to join, bring them with you. So that's perfect. So we can begin, because I need a minimum of at least 4 or 5 people to start that class. I don't currently have so many people, so I haven't. But yeah, that is something that can be done. If you want or are interested in, just write me an email. You know my email address, no? I think everybody knows my email address. That's my email address, yeah. Okay, Risha. Ha! Now I know you. Okay. Next question. Tahir, I hope that answers your question, no? Joseph John, thanks for asking. Is there any specialty specific FSP, or does everyone have to learn all? No, that's a great question. And I think that is a great idea also, to provide specialty specific courses later. You need internal medicine and general surgery from the final year, and all the subjects they have inside. So general surgery, we have trauma, orthopedics, radiology. Well, was it internal medicine? Either of the two. And then internal medicine has dermatology, psychiatry. What else does it have? And then, of course, gastro, respi, neuro, circulatory. That's the focus on. But specifically emergency medicine. Oh my God, emergency is very important. And in the exam, you might get any of these cases, right? But remember this, that they are going to check you for your language. So do you know the right words? Are you using the right terms? Like I said, you're not using appendicitis with a patient, you're using Blinddarmentzündung. Do you know the difference? That's what they're checking on, rather than if you make the right differential diagnosis, right? I mean, sure, if there's stomach pain and you're making a diagnosis of pulmonary effusion, then that's a different thing altogether. But if it's abdominal pain, upper quadrant, and you say peritonitis, or if you say pancreatitis, or you say appendicitis, that's all fine. Yeah. So relevant knowledge needs to be had. Precise knowledge of each subject isn't being tested in your FSP. However, it is subject specific themes that you're going to be touching on. So, right, pneumonia, appendicitis, knee fracture, trauma history. So all those cases, they touch on different subjects, but by and large, it's not going to be gynecology or pediatrics, for example. So you can leave that aside. So you can focus just on surgery and medicine per se. Okay, can I have a hospital in orthopedics? Of course, man. If you apply, Joseph. Absolutely. Orthopedics is a highly desired branch from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. It's a lucrative job. Also, it's a great job, right? Here, people don't prefer taking orthopedics for some reason because it's hard work, right? And Germans don't like doing hard work, let me tell you. They want work-life balance. So they go for lifestyle branches like psychiatry, radiology, dermatology. We don't offer them much troubles, much emergency work, much weekend work. So branches like orthopedics, general surgery, neurosurgery, cardiosurgery, they're very widely available. That was one of the major reasons why I came to Germany, because I could have gone to America or Australia too, but there you don't easily get surgical fields, and I wanted a surgical field too. If you apply right to the right clinics and the right way, it's easy to get a hospitation in surgical fields. And if you want, I don't know which stage you are in your application, but you can write to me an email and we can discuss, because I do provide courses for how to apply to hospitation too, but they're more advanced courses that don't. So if you want, I can give you access to that and we can talk about it, how I can help you with that. Okay. Minimum salary while working with temporary license. Oh, made a video about it, Dr. Abhijit. Why don't you check it out? Because it's the same as a permanent license salary. And it's on my YouTube channel, I think. Both the videos, pre-tax and post-tax. You should check it out. Okay. How to get one-on-one counseling session to you? Okay. That's pretty easy, man. Let me come back here. But that's pretty easy. See, all you do is click on this link and book a call. But book the right call, okay? Like guidance calls are the ones that you should book. So we can do a 30-minute or a 60-minute if you want to have a conversation. And there you go. Just use that link and book a call. Yeah. Like with 30 minutes or 60-minute sessions, it's a lot of time and effort. So I don't do them very often. Most of the times it's booked out. So just see if you have any open termin and book it on the calendar, my friend. So to do PG in Germany is my dream, sir. I started my dream after seeing your video. Why I moved to your... Wow, that's so... You watched that video? That's from 2 years ago when I was just playing around with making YouTube videos. Ah, cool. It was really inspiring. Please do that. Yeah, man, I will. I had no idea. Like, you're the first one who's reached out to me. I'm going to heart your comment. That is wonderful. That made my day. Okay, sure. I will do that. Thank you, sir. It was really fun. Looking forward to staying in touch with you. Dr. Shahid, thank you for being here. So anyway, if there are no more questions, I am going to tell you once again, thank you for joining. If you like the webinar, just give a nice review. When the call ends, you'll get an email. I'll also send you a form that you can fill up. It's also nice that you do that. Cooking videos also, yeah. Yeah, I like to cook too. I also have cat videos if you haven't seen that. And finally, do get the course. I would love to see you all inside the course, which we spoke about, the FSP Vocab Trainer. You can sign up, and it would be wonderful that I can see you guys again. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. Think about joining the course again. Like I said, 48 hours, early bird price, whatever. Think about it. Thank you for such an engaged session. You're a wonderful, wonderful audience. I loved being here. It was a wonderful use of my Sunday. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you in the next one. Alles Gute, my friends.